¡Salgamos del auto! ¡Salgamos del auto!
I saw through my window, while it was still in bed, I saw the sky changing colors. It was absolutely surreal.
The ionosphere of the Earth has got enormous amount of energy. There are 8,000 thunderstorms going on all over the Earth at any given moment. There are millions of amperes of electricity pouring to the Earth from lightning strikes. And HAARP could create a trigger effect.
The High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, which many people are familiar with. This project initially was a joint effort of the Air Force and Navy to build large radio transmitters here in Alaska. These transmitters would occupy a huge area. Initially it was 48 antennae in the array. These are antennas that are 72 feet tall, have a cross dipole, so across the top you'll see this type of a shape. These are about 70 feet across. The idea between these radio frequency generators is to focus radio frequency energy in a much different way than most of us think about radio frequency energy coming off of an antenna. Oscillating that signal off the ionosphere, which actually causes that layer 30 miles above the Earth's surface to begin to vibrate in harmony with the signal on the ground, causing it to act as a giant broadcast antenna, sending that signal back down to the Earth, and it passes through the Earth and sea in the form of an ELF, an extremely low frequency signal, a very long wavelength that efficiently passes through the Earth, and that can be used for a number of things, including Earth-penetrating tomography, the idea of looking into the Earth, or in plain language, it would be like, by comparison, X-raying the Earth, or looking into the Earth for underground mineral layers, underground shelters, nuclear facilities, and the like.
Looking for oil in the ground. I found 26 oil wells over a 9-state area, and 100% of the time was accurate with just 30 watts of power beaming straight into solid rock. HAARP uses 1 billion watts beamed straight into the ionosphere for experiments. Picture these strings on the piano as layers of the Earth. Each one has its own frequency. What we used to do is beam radio waves into the ground, and it would vibrate any strings that were present in the ground. We might get a sound back like, and we'd say, that's natural gas. We might get a sound back like, and we'd say, that's crude oil. We were able to identify each frequency. We accomplished this with just 30 watts of radio power. If you do this with 1 billion watts, the vibrations are so violent that the entire piano would shake. In fact, the whole house would shake. In fact, the vibrations could be so severe underground that could even cause an earthquake.
It was much broader in terms of what could be triggered with Earth-penetrating tomography. And one of the things that he noted was the effect of resonance, this idea of sending energy in, it harmonizes in a way that causes the energy actually to be more than the sum of the total. You know, it's like the old World War I stories where the armies were marching across wooden bridges in Europe, and some hours after they had marched across, the bridges would just collapse. And it was the rhythmic beat of the march across that bridge that set up essentially a vibration that eventually collapsed the entire structure. This idea of resonance, when applied to Earth-penetrating tomography at very high power levels, causes concern for many scientists, including Brooks Agnew, because what he believes is possible is to trigger events within the Earth, geophysical events, earthquake, volcanic eruptions, the kinds of things that may already be on the edge of discharge, and with the right resonant energies added into the system, cause them to overload and actually fracture. In fact, it was William Cohen that actually made the statement regarding weapons of mass destruction and the idea of generating earthquakes artificially. Weapons of mass destruction and the idea of generating earthquakes artificially. Weapons of mass destruction and the idea of generating earthquakes artificially.
Hello YouTube, Dutch Sense here. It is 8:29 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday, April 3rd, 2011. And I'm back in action, so I just wanted to show you guys something here that's truly amazing. And this was filed in the UN General Assembly, and it was a special committee on decolonization. Okay? Right? I mean, what? So let's just go ahead and search something here really quick. Here it is, HAARP. Adelia Centenio Rodriguez said her organization had spoken last year on the United States strategy to authorize nuclear weapons production facility in Puerto Rico, in violation of the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. She explained that Arecibo was home to the Arecibo National Astronomy and Ionospheric Center, the NAIC, which was used as an, quote, ionospheric heater, an array of antennae which are used for heating the uppermost part of the atmosphere. Arecibo was also mentioned as a test site for the high-frequency active auroral research program, in a patent filed by an individual in the United States to conduct experiments related to ionospheric manipulation. HAARP could function as an anti-missile and anti-aircraft defense system, permit interception and disruption of communications, disruption of weather, and submarine and subterranean communications, among other things. Now this is it. This is it right here, guys. This is crazy. Listen to this. The HAARP patent papers also stated that the invention could simulate and perform the same function as performed by the detonation of a heavy-type nuclear device. All right? And the report goes on and on and on. And I'm not going to read you the whole thing. This covers what I cover. And that's why I'm bringing this to you. HAARP can be used to cause a quote-unquote heavy-type nuclear device explosion.
And Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez has once again accused the United States of playing God. But this time it's Haiti's disastrous earthquake that he thinks the U.S. was behind. Spanish newspaper ABC quotes Chavez as saying that the U.S. Navy launched a weapon capable of inducing a powerful earthquake off the shore of Haiti. He adds that this time it was only a drill, and the final target is destroying and taking over Iran. The existence of a tectonic weapon has never been proved, but its use is often suspected by conspiracy theorists. For example, the leader of Georgia's Green Party accused Russia of being behind an earthquake on Georgian territory in 2000.
Aloha friends. I'm going to just make a quick video here where I'm going to try to help you connect the dots so that you can figure out how this quake that just happened in New Zealand was man-made and induced by the HAARP and the chem clouds. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. Let's zoom right in here. I'm going to show you a chart of the HAARP and its seismic reading prior and during the earthquake. Here let's get the information here. Magnitude 6.3, South Island of New Zealand, 2011, February 21st. Magnitude 6.3. Again, it happened for us on Monday, February 21st. But remember that New Zealand is 13 hours ahead, so actually it happened there on the 22nd. So just keep that in mind while we go ahead and we're going to look at the HAARP here. This is the actual chart, and there's some serious spiking going on. Let's start out down here on the bottom. Magnitude 6.3, South Island of New Zealand. Again, we want to look at 221. Okay, here we are. And go ahead, and 222. Let's go ahead though and look up. This is at the time prior to the earthquake, and you can see there's some serious spiking going on. This is the HAARP in action. I mean, if that doesn't tell me that there's obviously some serious power surging through the HAARP, I don't know what else does. This is the reading right here. Okay, now that we've got a good look at that, I'm going to go ahead and show you something else. By the way, there are several top secret HAARPs and antenna farms all over the world, underground and incidents. I'm telling you that we are having these, earthquakes. The acceleration of earthquakes it's absurd. It's definitely nothing I've ever experienced, just even here in Hawaii. I grew up here. We never had so many earthquakes. They're about every 4 to 6 months we'll have a jolt or a quake. The sky will be covered in these sloppy, horrible chem clouds, yet the natives walk around like they're totally in a coma. I try to wake them up about it, and they give me this, eye roll, and I'm looking at them like, you're according to plan. You're the brainwashed, robot. Check this out, you guys. Put the pieces together. Put the pieces together. You've got huge Richtering spikes on the HAARP chart. You've got rainbow clouds, okay, in the skies. that are being seen in New Zealand. You've got beached whales in New Zealand right at the time prior to the earthquake. You know, these are just not coincidences. You start putting the pieces together, and when you can allow your mind to open and to take this in, that these man-made quakes are real, they're happening all over the globe. The chem clouds are the brains. They work together with the HAARP. The HAARP is a must.